You've activated your Zomentum Payments account, you've completed KYC, everything's enabled from our side, and you're wondering what to do next. I'm going to show you in just 5 minutes what you need to do to get up and running with Zomentum Payments so that you can start collecting payments on documents and quotes, reconciling all of the payments into your accounting software, and collecting any invoices. So first thing you're going to need to do is connect your accounting software. Choose between QuickBooks and Xero. For the purposes of this demo, I'm going to be connecting QuickBooks. So we just click connect. It's then going to ask us to do some account mappings. There's 3 sections we need to complete. First of all, we need to let Zomentum know which vendor and expense account to use in your accounting software. This is so that we can reconcile the fees that we charge you as the merchant. We also need to choose a payout account. This is so that we know where to reconcile the payments that we make from Zomentum to your bank account. And lastly, we need to map an income account. That's used if you're passing any payment surcharges onto your customers. Obviously, that needs to be handled as income. That needs to be mapped to an income account. So here I've got the vendor Zomentum Payments. I'm mapping the expenses to a Zomentum Payments fees account. It's going to Starling bank account. And I'm reconciling any income to a Zomentum Payments surcharges account. I'm going to click Save and Proceed. Next thing we need to do is choose which payment method is going to be used in QuickBooks. Here I'm mapping MasterCard, Visa, and Amex to credit card and direct debit to a payment method I have set up called direct debit. If you want to configure those, you'll need to do it inside your accounting software. Just make sure you've got the payment methods you need set up, and then Zomentum will show them in the list here. Going to click Save. At this point, it's going to import all of your clients into Zomentum Payments. So then we can go to the client screen and we'll start to see all of our clients appearing. Here I've got a test company that we're going to have a quick look at later. Next thing we need to do is configure any branding and payment settings in the account. So we're going to go through, just check the company name, set how you want it to be. We'll go ahead and upload a logo. You may want to customize your button and link colors. That's what's used within the emails that get sent to your customers. We have an option whether we want to include the invoice PDF from the accounting software. If, for example, you're sending your invoices from a PSA directly and you don't want Zomentum to send the accounting software version of your invoice, you might just want to toggle that to no. Otherwise, if you normally send your invoices from the accounting software, so for example, if PSA syncs to accounting software and then the accounting software, you send the invoices from there, then we want to leave that set to yes, because Zomentum will take over sending those invoices from your accounting software to the client and including all of the payment information that's needed. Last thing we might want to do is set up a custom sender address so that the emails going out to your clients are coming from your own domain. There are various email templates that you're going to want to configure. The most important ones to get right from the beginning, probably going to be the first payment email, the automated payment email, and the request to add payment method. I'd focus on those ones first. The first payment email is used whenever we send an invoice to a customer where we don't have any payment method on file. So this one needs to include a Pay Now button so that we can capture that payment method for future use. The next one, the automated payment email, is used if we do have a payment method on file when we're sending the invoice to the customer. In this one, we just need to notify them that the payment's going to be collected, how much it's for, the date it's going to be collected. The last one I'd focus on at this stage is the request to add a payment method. This is really useful for pre-onboarding your customers in advance of issuing their first invoices. We can send this to whichever customers we want so that we can get that payment mandate on file nice and early. Once we've configured all the email templates, you can edit all of the content as you see fit. We then might want to enable some reminders. We have a reminder for upcoming invoices. So here I'm set to send the first reminder 10 days and then repeat every 2 days, probably a bit over the top, but you can obviously customize that. We can also enable overdue payments, which will send a weekly email reminder to the recipients whenever invoices haven't been paid. Lastly, we want to configure the payment configuration options. Here we can enable which payment methods are available to your customers. So I had Amex disabled, but we can have all of those enabled. You can also determine whether you want to pass on any transaction fees to your customers. So here you might want to pass on, for example, 2.9% plus 50 pence or cents, depending on your region. You can also rename the fee if your jurisdiction requires you to call it something else. Personally, here I'm not passing on any fees to my customers. We can also determine which invoices should be automatically collected. I would suggest referring to knowledge base article on this because it is a little bit complicated. But we can use this option to determine whether all invoices should be collected or whether there are some rules to determine whether invoices should be collected or not. You may also want to enable an auto collect limit, so any invoices above the value in this field won't be automatically collected. You can also configure the schedule for actually doing the auto collection. So if you want to ensure that payments never get collected before a certain amount of time has passed, or in relation to the due date, we can configure that there as well. And then last thing at the bottom is the statement descriptor that will appear on your customers' credit card statements.